All right, well, women have been fighting for long for menstrual leave. Across the world, many countries have gone with it. India was mulling over it. And now, the Supreme Court of India, in fact, we know the top court of our country, the Supreme Court of India, has refused to hear a petition that asked for a nationwide menstrual leave policy for women, students, and employees. The court said today the demand may sound very reasonable, but turning it into a mandatory law could backfire on women itself. Let's tell you how. So, a bench led by Justices Suryakant and Joymala Bakshi has said such a rule could actually hurt women's job prospects. Their concern, the court says, is employers now might start avoiding hiring women altogether if they are required to give extra paid leave. The judges also warned against portraying menstruation as something that makes women inferior or incapable at work. At the same time, many women say that periods can be extremely painful. Some suffer from severe cramps, fatigue, migraines, nausea, making it very difficult to work normally. Supporters of menstrual leave say it simply recognizes a biological reality and makes workplaces more humane. Some countries already doing it, like Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, Spain, already have menstrual leave policies in place. In India too, many states were mulling over it. In fact, places like Kerala, Bihar, Odisha have already introduced or currently are in discussion. Karnataka as well has discussed menstrual leave. But there is no national policy as yet. Supporters say a law would ensure that all women get the same protection. But critics argue it would reinforce the idea that women are weak workers. Some also fear that it could create resentment among male employees who may see this as partial or special treatment towards women. Employers also worry about practical issues, how to verify these leaves, possible misuse of it, and disruptions at work. Some experts say that the better solution here may be flexible work policies or gender-neutral sick leave. For now, the Supreme Court has not shut the issue completely. The court has asked the government to examine the matter and consult stakeholders, which leaves the country with a larger question. Is menstrual leave a step towards dignity and health rights for women, or could it unintentionally create new barriers at workplaces? A quick word from Brinda Adige, women's rights activist, Dr. Kiranpreet Kaur, global talent acquisition voice, and also Rahul Ishwar, who's an author and activist, a male voice that was necessary on this. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us. Brinda, I start with you on women asking, in fact, a PIL has been filed by multiple organizations. Multiple organizations asked for it, a PIL that was formally filed before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says you're not looking at the larger repercussions. Menstrual pain is a real health issue, we know, but according to court, it says workplaces will not treat women the way it should over time. They might kill their career growth. In fact, this would really backfire in a negative way. And that's something that the women and the people who filed the PIL should consider. So what's your view on this?
It is the same court that passed and ordered and agreed that right to life and dignity, Article 21, menstruation is not a weakness, it is a health reality. Now the same court, where is that learning? Where is that understanding? And equality does not mean women must endure pain to prove we are good or better than men. That is why we are talking about equity. When every family wants Vamsha Udhara, you want Vamsha Udhara free of cost. You are discriminating women, discriminatory hiring practices. You are putting the company's convenience and profit above women's health. More than half the population. So you want to profiteer from our pain, our discomfort. This is our biology. Now, if men can also take the same biology, why not? Please let them have their leaves. And why do you all the time talk about misuse? What is this misuse? Women go through certain pain during menstruation. Now, show me a woman who doesn't menstruate. Then I can tell you there is no pain. But don't talk about she's misusing the law. One leave, once a month. What misuse? Is the company going to come down? What do you want to continuously place this burden of mistrust, distrust on women? The order that has been passed by the court is not just retrograde. It's sexist, misogynistic, and pathetically patriarchal. certainly unacceptable because they have played to the galleries of the companies who are unwilling to treat women equally. They are making all of these excuses, which is a patriarchal excuse, and saying, women, we want you to carry all our burden and suffer the pain and come up to whatever it is. Already, women are suffering with maternity leave. They don't get back that same position that they went away, or the position that they must get back in that seniority. Even that we are letting go and saying, chalo, it is okay. Then they are saying that, paternity leave, courts must agree to all of it. But here we are talking about women's biology is a reality. It's a health reality. It is not our weakness. Why would such so-called learned people assume this as weakness? Assume that we will not be hired. How dare you, the court? A constitutional guarantee under Article 21 are telling me that I must now suffer because of my biology. I don't think such people even understand what they are talking. Forget what my constitution. Equality has already been guaranteed to me. It's my sovereign right. Nobody has to give me. Equity is what we are asking you because of our biology. We can't tell we don't want this biology. If we could, we would have said that. But we can't say this is our biology. Accept it because it is for the better of our society, community, and families. And you cannot sit there in a position of power and authority and say companies will not hire you. That is why we want to bring the case to you. Otherwise, we would have gone and begged with companies, isn't it? You have taken the oath to uphold, protect, and safeguard constitutional guarantees in mother of democracies. And that's exactly what you should do. Repeal this retrograde order.
Let me bring in Rahul Ishwar, the other man, before I get to the other woman here, the man on the panel. Ishwar, do you believe that a menstrual leave will make it look like special treatment for women? What's your view as a man? If you didn't get that leave, a woman got a special leave, which is not sick leave, but it's dedicated to a menstrual leave. Sick leave then could be additional and add-on. I don't know how it works, how HR would outline it. Kiranpreet will tell us more. But from a man's perspective, your take on a menstrual leave for a woman?
I'm a men's right activist. I can understand and empathize with what Vrindaji has said, but I believe reality can be a bit more nuanced. For example, the companies may have a concern about how many days of leave. That's a very genuine concern. The productivity hours that they are going to lose can be a very genuine concern. As you mentioned earlier, is somebody telling it right, or are they I would not use the word faking it, but are they misrepresenting it can be a question. So there are a lot of genuine questions, but as everyone knows, this is a health reality. I wouldn't even call it a challenge, a health reality, something that nature has done. So somewhere you have to strike a balance, and also it can add to the private companies, especially as we know government sector is moving back from many of the job giving opportunities. Many of the companies may have their own inhibitions, whether they are getting enough productive hours, and a lot of such questions are also there. So the reality is a bit more nuanced. I hope court has to strike a balance somewhere. That's the reason why this has to be dealt in a slow manner. I don't think Supreme Court has erred in it, but Supreme Court always chose a path of caution, that they have to move ahead in a very cautious way. States like Kerala, my own state, has been thinking about it and has put forward some women-friendly laws and women-friendly approaches. Nobody is against it, but it has to be a much more nuanced debate rather than mere name-calling or saying that you are all retrograde or you are all anti-progressive, you are all anti-woman. It's a much more nuanced debate that needs deliberation to a larger extent and a larger sort of consensus building. And I believe it starts with awareness and sensitization. It starts with social awareness and social sensitization, where there is a social strength of awareness that really creates the milieu before any kind of policy and perspective, especially a legal perspective and a paradigm comes to it.
Can I ask you on whether men understand the severity of menstrual pain?
To be honest, a huge percentage of men, including me, should be educated and should be sensitized more. Let me put it that way. We should be educated because that's not a natural phenomenon to us. Yes, we have heard from our sisters. We have heard from our, maybe from our friends in schools and colleges. Yes, we have heard about it. We heard that they are having their own physical challenges. They say there is pain. Yes, we understand, but there needs to be a much more open talk because this is a very shy topic and a taboo topic in Indian society.
Correct.
That even the woman will have toughness to speak and men will have some kind of toughness to hear. So there should be, it's a very natural process, nature's process that we should be made aware of, so that social circumstance creation is extremely important before we use the strong and long arm of law to enforce it.
Kiranpreet, the operational challenges here from an employer's perspective, where do you think will be concerns that would be raised, in terms of the cost to the company when you're paying the employee, you're giving them an extra leave? How would companies approach this? This is exactly what the court is saying, that companies then will avoid hiring women altogether. Already women face that stigma that women can't work night shifts, so therefore let's avoid hiring a woman, we'll hire a man. Now you have another one more reason to why an employer might want to turn it down, because if they are paying the employee, man or woman, they want the most of that, to extract the most of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Navina, at the moment, I think most of the organizations are looking forward to policies which are gender specific, more sensitive, creating a workplace where everybody feels welcomed, peaceful, and are able to stay more productive. Therefore, and then the law is also very state to state. Not all states, offer similar kind of leaves. So I don't see much of a challenge here. If the employers want, for example, Karnataka, issued it, and a lot of organizations were ready to implement it immediately. So there's no specific challenge per se where the organizations may suffer. Yes, opportunity cost will be a price that the employer will be, paying. But I think that is the need of the hour. We want more women workforce to be part of this, industry where the gender equality actually exists, not just merely, in philosophies, but in actual numbers. So I don't see a lot of challenge here. Monetarily, yes, a pinch, but that pinch will be good for organizations to take.
Brinda?
Yes, this year's theme for Women's Day, Women's Year is Give to Gain. And what you're giving is not charity. What companies are giving are not charity. It is enhancing quality. And at the end of the day, you want to ask yourself, should it be profit and convenience over quality? Because that's exactly what we are talking about. So you want to ignore more than half the population.
But when you say profit and convenience over quality, would you mean that one day's menstrual leave would really ease the pain? Because pain goes on for 2-3 days sometimes, most times. As you grow older, it gets worse.
But we know that pain gets aggravated simply because of that one day which could have been a rest day. Yeah? That rest would probably make you better the next 2 days, 3 days. Some people get this pain and cramps on the first day. Some people get it on the second day. And this mistrust is absolutely unacceptable, because somewhere righteous men think that any law that comes talking about women and enhancing their opportunities to accomplish something, I will mistrust them. Dowry laws, I will mistrust them. Sexual harassment at the workplace, I will mistrust them. Who the hell are you to mistrust me? So if you are not willing to give my constitutional guarantees, I'm not asking you any equality. That is not charity. That is my sovereign constitutional guarantee. Equity, give to gain, so that not only this individual citizen woman will do the best and give her best, but her family will be better, her community, and so my nation. At the end of the day, that's what nation building is all about. You cannot profiteer over my pain.
Rahul?
That's one submission. Why do people mistrust? Because the laws have been misused to such an extent where Supreme Court had to say that things like 498A should not descend into legal terrorism. And this was a word Honorable Supreme Court used. many rape laws are misused. Many such female-centric professions are hugely misused, and men are also at the receiving end because of fake complaints. A lot of things that we have seen. That's the reason why Supreme Court went on record to say that.
Misuse can't be a woman problem. You can misuse anything. You can misuse any industry has people misusing the laws.
That's the reason why checks and balances need to be there. That's the reason why Supreme Court once went on record to say. Remember, Honorable Supreme Court went on record to say we have given them shields, but they are using it as swords. We have given women.
Who are you to give me a shield? That has already been given to me by the Constitution.
But you don't have a right to use it as a sword.
Sure that you
don't have a right to use it as a sword.
But is it fair, Rahul, for few cases of misuse, you blanket the entire women population saying, no, you don't deserve it because you can misuse it?
How do you count the numbers? For example, there was a report quoted by BBC, one of the most credible organizations, that nearly 53% of the rape laws or the rape cases are found to be false or not trustworthy. There are many studies this way and that way, and we all know that there are a lot of fake POCSO cases. There are a lot of cases.
I don't know about BBC. I will only tell you about India. India,
BBC was quoting about Indian situation.
That out of 100 cases of rape that come to court, 58 are acquitted, 3 are punished, the remaining are dismissed because of my system and its mechanism and the functionaries over there.
What about that?
Cases, ma'am? What about false cases?
Recorded.
Yeah, a lot of cases are not recorded. A lot of cases the men are acquitted.
What about false cases?
No, we're not denying that there are false cases, but because of a few false cases.
1.5% of false cases. You are going to hold that as the jhanda and say 99. Now go to hell.
So how do you come to the figure of 99 versus 1, ma'am? Which is the reference point?
Yeah. So you want to now say in my country, I will take
where is
care
the
of
data
this
point
one,
saying that it is 99
can die. So, sorry. I don't want to have this
where is the
misogynistic conversation. Let us go by statistics. Let us go by what you and I see on a daily basis.
Let's go by statistics. What is the percentage of conviction
every
rate?
Day, every 8 minutes, there is a rape in my country. NCRB data.
Yes.
You want to pull down NCRB?
Yeah, no. I want to uphold NCRB data. What is the conviction rate?
Yeah, you ask your courts. You ask
what
your
is the
police,
conviction rate?
Your
And
prosecution.
what about those false cases where people have lost years and years of their life due to false cases? Even recently, Supreme Court flagged some of the cases.
Every life is important. Every human being, every citizen is important. But if you hold 4.5 cases and say, listen, this is very important, so let the rest of them go to hell. No.
Nobody is saying that. That's
to address the system and its mechanisms. Sorry, this order passed by the Chief Justice and the court over there is retrograde, sexist, misogynistic, patriarchal, and
these are name callings,
violation
these are
of
merely
Article
name callings,
21
and that
of the
won't get
Constitution, which the
anywhere.
same court upheld, saying right to menstrual health is my right as life to dignity. Simple. If the same court, so
that cannot be at the cost of another
want
person,
to
right?
shed it, I want to question them because
that cannot
I am
be
a
at the cost
citizen
of
of this
somebody
nation.
else. That cannot be at the cost of somebody else. You have to strike a balance.
Brinda, can I ask you if at all there is an extended sick leave, of course not really terming it menstrual leave, would you be okay with it, or do you insist for it to be called a menstrual leave?
It is menstrual leave and menstrual leave alone, because when I'm sick, if you call it sick leave, there are other clauses that come under the labor laws. I have to bring you medical certificate. And I'm not acceptable to that. It's menstrual leave. You want me to now bring a certificate to show you I'm menstruating? What is this? If you do not trust half the population,
what if they make it flexible? What if they make it flexible?
You are acceptable with my taxes and my vote, but you will not trust me.
What if they make
why can't you take a paid
flexible
leave? I mean, why can't you go and leave the salary? Why can't you take a leave by yourself?
Why should I take a
salary? Do you want to get the salary for that day?
That is unfair.
Take a salary?
That is unfair.
Losing equality.
Salary is for working this
salary
many days,
cut.
right? Salary is for working this many number of days, right?
How many people
Salary
give
is
a
for
salary
working
to
that
this
particular
woman
number of
carrying a
days.
baby
So
for
if you
10
are
months?
taking a leave, you should
Give
be ready to
salary.
forgo off that day's salary.
You give salary to the woman carrying the baby for 10 months and delivering the baby, suffering through cesarean and everything. You give salary. Huh? You have glorified
Ma'am, how can
and
it be the employer's
glamorized motherhood.
responsibility?
That poor thing
Suppose
can't
if I am
even
running
open
a
her
company,
mouth
how
and
can
talk.
it be my
No, Mr.
responsibility?
Ishwar, don't go so far. Don't go, because
It is
when
employer's
we women want to
responsibility
question you,
to
how many
ensure
of
there is
how many
equality.
men are paying their women, their wives, saying, carry my baby for 10 months?
Okay, Kiranpreet wants to make a point.
I think it is the employer's responsibility to ensure equality at workplace for both the genders. So, Ishwar, I don't understand the point why employer will be uncomfortable giving a paid leave. Why do you want the employee to suffer? And where you see
It's at the
equality,
cost of
the women have
cost.
to
No,
take the cut.
Kiranpreet, the crux is that employer will be uncomfortable to pay extra buck for no service. That any employer, male or female, even if it is a female employer, she would be wondering, to pay that extra day without any output. It'll pinch your pocket. So I understand where the employer comes from, but do you believe a law will set things right, because then there's no looking back?
Absolutely. And Nabila, think of it. The women is going to be more productive. What will you do calling a woman at workplace, who's unhealthy, who's not going to barely, move anything at the workplace? You let that woman take some rest and then come back, mentally more sorted, is able to, give a better productive day. I disagree with Ishwar stating that why employer, is responsible for the menstrual. Of course, the employer is responsible for the mental health state of a woman as well as men. Men don't go through that. It's a biological need of the women, and therefore, employer has to do it. Maternity is one classic example. Employer has to take that pinch as well. So I don't see this to be such a hard thing for any employer to go through.
But Kiranpreet, as much
because
as
they gave maternity leave.
Kiranpreet,
No company has suffered loss because they gave maternity leave.
Okay, Kiranpreet, my question to you is, companies on ensuring equality, I think that will come only if there's a law in place. But are you also insisting that it must be called menstrual leave and not just sick leave? And what if the rules are flexible? What if they say you don't need to provide a certificate, but for women, we'll give you one extra sick leave? But it won't be captioned as menstrual leave, it will be captioned as sick leave.
Yes, absolutely. Why
You're
not?
fine by that.
We give birthday leave. Why can't we give menstrual leave? Yes. What is the shame in saying that? It's something natural, and every woman goes through that.
Yes. What is this taboo talking about menstruation? What is this taboo? Why are we reiterating this taboo 78 years down the line after independence? We are happy to go to the dark side of the moon, but continue to live in dark ages down on earth?
Stereotyping would actually be when, we are just saying this doesn't exist, just like all the years we've been trying to do. That's setting the stereotype. Let's do some change now.
Do you believe that Rahul is a product of someone who's unaware of the gravity of the pain? Sorry, Rahul, I'm talking in third person here.
I will not even talk about education.
You as third person. But
there is no openness to understand. Yes, I have seen. Yes, I have done that. Why don't you understand? Girls used to stay back at home or drop out of school simply because of menstruation. Today, we have gone forward progressively to say sanitary pads are given in school. There is running water in school. So our education and our children are going out 6th standard, 7th standard and 10th standard. Now we have reached a phase and India is a progressive country. There's nothing stopping my country to say, we are happy to give you your menstruation leave, which we guaranteed 1950. Sorry, thank you. We are only giving it to you now. If companies say that they are going under a loss, maybe the company should just shut down and go. We will still survive.
It's right. I'm sorry, but I'd like to just add one point. It's funny. It's like of that era when, there were only one washroom. And when women used to get admitted into colleges, they used to suffer. And universities used to feel that that's an additional cost. But in the end, we had to take that to ensure women feel welcomed. And it's just giving them dignity, to be able to sustain the day duly, respectfully. And it's just similar to this leave as well. It's a natural process. Of course, they need it. Yes, Ishwar, women need an extra day to rest because unfortunately, biologically, we go through something that men don't.
But I would
And
humbly
remember,
submit
this is a
the tone and
same
tenor of
quote
the
that
debate
said
should
this
be
is
more
your
inclusive,
fundamental
and it
right.
should never go to an extent where you say we don't mind if the company shuts and go, because if the company shuts and go, there will be nobody to give you either leave, salary, or paid leave.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry.
It should not be.
Don't worry.
And
Don't
who will
worry.
give
The
you? Who will give you a job,
companies
ma'am?
can go. No company
Why would
or
the
office
companies
or
shut
agency
down
should
leave?
profit
We
here
should
on
have
my
switched over
pain.
to what
This
we're
is the
talking about.
female chauvinistic attitude Indian society is always afraid of.
Oh, stop it. There is no
Nobody
female chauvinism. There's only
encourages
male
male
What
chauvinism.
chauvinism.
about
But at
all
the
over
same
the
point of
world? You
time,
have
Right
multiple
to
countries.
life
I'll
other
with
literally
extent of
read it
being
out.
a
dignity.
You
female
have
chauvinist
Right to
Japan,
life with
countries like
dignity
Japan
is
that have
my
already announced
fundamental
menstrual
right.
leave.
No, my only
Right
submission
to
is
life
when you
with
go to the
dignity.
other extent of being chauvinist, that also creates
Oh,
problem
stop
and
your
social resistance.
chauvinism.
How
Come
is
on,
it? How
Ishwar.
is it being
Stop
chauvinist
it, stop
asking for
it. There is
menstrual
no
leave?
chauvinism
No,
here.
no. You
Fundamental
missed my
right.
comment, ma'am. I said when you are saying that if companies can go to hell if they don't give us is a very chauvinistic attitude. You have to strike a balance. You have to create sensitivity
No.
and
You are a
some kind of
capitalist now
understanding.
telling me
But
I
rather
will
saying
profiteer
that those
on your
companies who are
pain.
not ready to give
Can
live
you
can shut and
profiteer
go
on
will
my
be a very
pain?
bad attitude, and that would not be
Can you
entrepreneurial. That would
profiteer
not be
on
doing
my
ease of
pain,
business.
All right.
That would
violating my
not be
All right.
fundamental
pro-private
rights?
sector.
All right.
Can you
I
profiteer
don't.
on
I
my
don't.
Like
pain,
another sick
violating
leave in the
fundamental
name
rights?
menstrual leave.
No,
That's it.
my very logical question finally, as
An
I'm short
extra.
on time, Kiran Preet, if you can answer me this. Don't you think it'll be a lopsided approach when hiring? HR will go for more men and less women because if
No.
it is equal work, I mean that would be a natural response then. How would the company want to strike a balance here? Because even if they have to go right now, already we see more number of men and less women in most workplaces in India. Now with this, then you'll have that ratio increase. More number of men will be hired, fewer women will be. Because imagine,
I disagree.
yeah,
I disagree because
we
there are
don't even
certain
know how
roles
many
where
women will
women
go
are.
on leave at once. You know,
We're just talking about 12 leaves, Nabila. I don't see that to be a big hit. You think of it just like an extra sick leave. And the good part is that it lapses. Not necessarily the women takes it every month. Not necessarily. And in the end, we are not paying them anything. It's not getting accumulated just like the other leaves, right? So I think it's just bases the need. You're giving them accessibility, just like giving a bereavement leave. Think of organizations which are giving all of these. I'm sure that then they are going through huge losses, and then they should hire none. Both the genders end up taking these birthday leaves and bereavement leaves. So I don't see a lot of challenge on the hiring front per se, because we hire basis competency, and these are the basket of benefits that we end up giving employees.
no, but
when
it's
we want
not
to
like we
hire
don't
good
see
people.
those stigmas already in workplaces. A lot of employers don't hire because they have to give menstrual leave. Women can't work night shifts. So there is that stigma attached, and we've got to acknowledge and accept it that there is a challenge that women already face.
But
I
that's
think
why,
there are
Nabila, the government
industries
says you must
where
appoint a certain number of women. And
You're
that's
say-
why companies are appointing and taking in a certain number of women. Today we are seeing more and more
as we
companies
end
saying
here, Brinda,
10%,
I'd like to ask
15%.
you, Brinda and Kiran Preet, I'd like to ask you as we end, what are the benefits of hiring a woman? Let's have all of this discussion that we've already had now. For the employer and for those who hire women, what are the benefits of hiring a woman as opposed to a man?
I
Yes,
think
you
depends
go
on the
first.
competencies they come up with. Women are multitasker. They're always faster, smarter. You've seen the women cricket team as well doing wonderfully. So I think in all the occupations across industries, competency-based hiring, prevails, and therefore hiring of women who fills the competencies as well, I think is always a booster for any organization to grow faster.
Brinda?
And please remember, women are more lateral thinkers. Women work better with teams. We know for sure that today there are some institutions trying to learn and understand how do women multitask and how we can teach men. Of course, it's not going to be a great profitable research, but they let them continue to research. But keep in mind, if you want a nation to progress, you want women to accomplish.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have the world over saying, give to gain. You want to gain, you have to give. What you're giving is not charity. What you're giving is saying, if you teach this woman, you teach an entire family.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we are talking about. You give this woman, you give a family some kind of respite, but you're growing and developing and making a better quality of community and nation. That is what nation building is all about.
Brinda, I know I'm
Upholding
short on time.
women.
My director is warning me that we're running out of time. But I have a question. I have great equations with my employers, and there's no time at any given point in time I say that I'm not up to it. I want to take an off. They usually do not refuse. But that's my story. I know a lot of women who get granted that leave, and men are also sensitive. But it's not official. That does not cut it.
Yeah, so much we are talking, Nabila. Remember, the informal, unorganized sector cannot even argue on these things. So let's not grudge any woman that one day in a month menstrual leave.
Yeah.
Don't grudge it. It's
All
a
right,
small
that's
percentage.
it. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you, Rahul, Kiranpreet, and Brinda. Lovely to chat with all of you on this.